Can you hear me? Everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you everyone for joining us today. We have our page for Ariwo Data Science Python, where everything we discuss will be hosted on this page. This is what we call, for some of you that don't know what is GitHub. So this is something that can be used to work collaboratively and also document other stuff. But today we will also discuss, hopefully, if time permits, what GitHub is, and also GitHub and Git are part of what you will learn in Ariwa Data Science. Um, Let me share the link to all of you so that you can be able to see that. If in the chat, I share the link for the GitHub repository, and I will take you through explaining bit by bit of the repository, where we'll keep updating every part as we move along. So this is it. Oh, okay, we have table of content twice. So this is the table of content. I mean, this is our fellowship, and this is some people join late to ask us in the Telegram that please can I join. So anyone that is joining, we close the fellowship, but anyone is free to join us in our weekly sessions. It's okay to join and learn, but if you have any issue, for all our sessions, some people in the Telegram, they will be asking, where is the class for whatsoever? Everything will be hosted on our YouTube playlist for the Python programming. If you click here, it will go there and you'll see all the recorded video for the session. This is our website, email. If you have any issue, you can send us. And finally, you can follow us on our social media. If you are interested in joining us and you are not current fellow, then following us on our media, you will see, update when a new fellowship opens. We already explained that this fellowship, Ario Data Science Fellowship, is 3 stages. We have Python programming, and we have data science, we have machine learning, and we also have deep learning. But at this first stage, we have this. At the end of this session, when anyone finished these 3 stages, he will be given certificate for Ario Data Science and machine learning. But if you finish only the Python programming, we'll give certificate for Python programming. We'll also give Python certificate for data science. With individual certificate we give. But at the end of the day, anyone that finished the complete free certificate, stages will be given the Ario Data Science and Machine Learning certificate. We already explained what each stage is. Python programming is the stage where we are taking you through some initial preparation stage and also to get skill on Python programming. Then we move to the data science, where you'll learn a lot about data cleaning and minging and how to use data. And then we go to machine learning. This is we also have requirements. It's not everything that you take for granted. For example, you need to complete assignments, write blog posts if you are given. So, for example, last week we asked you to create a blog post on your experience on joining Ario Data Science or something that you learn. So we will keep track of all the blog posts and everything. But we also have attendance requirement and capstone final project. So these are some of the requirements that we will keep track on. This is not something like a university or something that will push anyone in the fellowship that you must do. It's up to you, and it is up to us also to, select those people that complete the stages and to move to the next stage. For example, data science or machine learning. Yeah. So you can see Python programming. This is the stage we are right now. And here, for those that miss our fellowship kickoff, we have, we will publish our accepted fellows. So when you click here, you go to the link for fellows that we have accepted. For the mentors, we have mentors that will be helping. We will post the list of mentors so that you see the list of the mentors. Our Telegram channel, this is Telegram channel. We have some etiquette in Telegram channel. If you click here, for example, you will see, some information. about the Telegram. If you don't have, you install it and, post something related only to discussion. So we have a channels called RO Data Science Python Program Fellowship 3. So when you have any question regarding to that, you post in that channel. We have a channel that we said GitHub and Medium. So when you have, your blog post or a Medium, you post on that channel. So please and please, we have announcement channel where we post announcements. So please and please post anything that is meant for each channel. We have kickoff recording. So this for those that missed initial kickoff where we explain what this program is. This is recorded. This is kickoff slides. So for if you are interested, this is our kickoff slides where we have the slide for the initial kickoff for the RODS. So everything from now on is, all the information you need will be hosted. And then for the fellowship, we told you the Python fellowship program in Python is 2 month, but it comes to our notice that even the setup, previously what we do, the setup, our students sometimes comes from computer science and they are aware of all this stuff. Like in setup, they can do it, without any issue. But now we have some students that are not computing and they find it difficult for the setup and it's taking us longer. So we'll take this setup and installation and everything. Before we said it's going to take us 2 weeks, but now we're going to have 3 weeks because we have much more things to discuss. So here you can see initial setup. We discuss how to do the installations, how you can install. So for example, here now we have details of everything. We also upload the last week video. So if you have Windows, for example, you can click this. You can see a lot of setups, but we have another video, for example, that you can follow to do that. We also, yes, within the week, we ask you to watch on how to write a Medium blog post to write your experience. Here is a recording by Lukman, and also this is, for example, how to write Medium blog article. So this is something that we wrote in the last cohort, where we, explain how can you write something. So, for example, you need to choose catchy article title. Title that you want to write and, write short. So this is just like a little breakdown on how you can write a Medium article. If you don't know what is Medium, we already asked you to watch this recording as well. You'll be able to see the explanation details on how you create a Medium account, how you can make first. So today we are going to discuss basic command lines. If time permits, I'm not sure, we can go also to set up GitHub, set up Git and GitHub, where we will discuss this. But we will, here are some recordings for the last cohort. If for this cohort, we'll be adding the recordings here as well. You see recording version 1, and now you see something recording version 2. So what we will urge you is that watch the recordings of all these sessions. It will ease your learning when we come, so that you already watch and you already go through that. It will aid the learning, so that when we come, maybe you will be asking some questions and other stuff. So we'll add recordings for this cohort here. And this is our people that, so for example, today, basic command line operation and Git and GitHub, Falalu will cover, all this stuff. And
how did we go from movies on Tuesdays to all our memories packed in?
And then next week, we'll finalize everything, setup and installation. So next week, I will take you to what is called virtual environment, how we can basically use Git, BS Code to do data science, how we can use what is called Git Markdown. So this is something also we'll discuss. Markdown on those. Finally, we'll also discuss how to customize your GitHub profile. So this one will be led by Lukman. So what do we mean by customizing GitHub profile? So if for example, you come here, anyway, we'll discuss this maybe when it is time, but we have some. So just to reiterate, this now after we finish this setup and installation, then we will start diving into Python programming. So this is something, if you click here, it will not take you to anywhere because we haven't populate this content. So we'll be populating each content as we go, but these contents are ready. When you click each one here, it will take you to the right step. So without much further ado, everything, all the informations you will be needed for RO data science will be hosted on GitHub repository. And when you have any requests or any information, please send us an email. Our mentors will always be on the Telegram, and they will be there to help you and respond to your questions. Yeah. Okay. If you have, so how can you get access to this page? So this is a page. I share it in the chat. Right. I share in the chat. Yeah, you cannot see the list of accepted. So here you can see, I said the list of accepted fellows. Where is that? Yeah, the list of accepted fellows. I haven't updated the list. I will do so. The link of mentors is not there. Also, I haven't updated that. So some links here are not working. I will update those one here within the week or tomorrow. But for now, we are still compiling the list of people that came to the program and they are following. Yeah. Okay. Without much further ado, I will ask call Falalu to start our presentation today on on basic command line, because it's prerequisite for setup Git and GitHub. And also, I believe you already did installation, for example, VS Code, Conda, Mini Conda, and also WSL, so that your learning experience today will be smooth. Right. Okay. So thank you very much. And Falalu, are you here with us?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, so yeah, so you can be able to share your screen, I guess, so that you can start the session today.
Okay.
Yeah. If anyone has question after this session, Falalu session, then you can wait and we'll be able to respond to your question. So Falalu, as I said today, will be discussing basic command lines and also taking you to setting up Git and GitHub. Hopefully, if we were able to finish this stuff today, we'll also be able to do something tomorrow. But let's see what happens. Falalu, because the thing is, we have some people, this is their first experience with this stuff. So it is like taking them we need to take them slowly to make sure they understand the concept. Our student, for example, those with experience, some of you here may have GitHub, they will feel like it's taking, this is something that, but the problem is that some of us here, this is our first time to see this stuff. So we are taking it slowly for them to make sure they understand. So please, if you think we are taking it slowly, that's how it's supposed to be. Because of some of us here, this is their first time. Yeah. All right. Somebody is talking, how do we download WSLs? This is something that we discussed yesterday. Last week. Today we are gonna move on into the new stuff. So you watched the coding for the last week, and yeah. So Lukman, Falalu, you can take over.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this second third session. That is the second week. So today we are going to talk about basic commands. We are going to cover both CMD, Ubuntu, and Mac OS. So the previous cohort, you talk about the command lines, but more of Mac OS. So we are going to consider we are going to put more energy on those who use Windows systems due to the fact that most of our users use Windows. So let's start.
Falalu,
So
Falalu, they are saying your voice is somehow. So if you can adjust your voice, yeah.
okay. Let me use that. Am I audible?
Yes, sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay. As you can see from my screen, there are some advantages of command line over GUI, as discussed in the previous cohort. One of the advantages is the speed. Any one of you who has some programming experience, maybe in Java or web, like HTML, PHP, and many others, knows that when you want to maybe create a button, you create a button using HTML, then maybe you have some JavaScript behind the scene, then you have maybe PHP. So this command before the actual task is executed, there are so many number of steps. But with command line, you are just interacting with the operating system directly. Then the second advantage is automation, and you can write a single line of code that can automate many repetitive tasks, and we will see. Then handling big data, when you have very big data, command line is the best choice. Then access to tools, there are many number of tools that can help you accomplish many tasks in data science. Then there are other advanced features that we may see when we go along. Then there is also version control system, as we discussed last week with Git and GitHub. Then there are some systems commands that help us understand the system. So the assumption is that we assume that you have already installed WSL, and anyone who use Windows system, CMD or command prompt is built in it. It is one of the first generation operating systems. So by the end of this class, you will understand uh, some of the commands in both CMD, Ubuntu, and Mac OS. So let's delve in. So I'm sure everyone has WSL installed. If you haven't, what you just need is just to maybe click on this, then you go to store, then from the store,
We can
you
only
search
see
for,
Jupyter. We can only see a Jupyter notebook, Falalu.
okay. Let's see.
Hello,
So
Falalu.
can you see it now?
Yeah, okay, yeah, we can see.
So from here, what you just need to do is just
No,
search
can you
for,
start from the beginning?
okay. So you just click on start button. Then from there, you search for store, Microsoft Store. When you go there, you just click on it. Then you search for WSL. So it appears on the top. Yeah, you see there are two different versions. So you can search for one. Then you just click on install. So I have already installed it. Then you can do it. Everything that we do using graphical user interface, you can also do it via command line interface. So we just need to do is just type install on your shell, then you put dash dash, then you put WSL, then you put the D, then Ubuntu version. We will see. Maybe you can ask that question on Telegram. So let's start by running some of the basic codes. First of all, let's start. Oh, um, yeah. So let's see. Sorry. So this is how the command prompt is. So to access the command prompt, if you are using Windows, what you just need to do, you just need to come here and click on the start button. Then you type CMD. That's one way. You can just click on CMD, then it will appear as you can see. Then another option is you can press Windows R, then you type CMD, then you are good to go as well. Then you can just click, you can also click on start and navigate to command prompt. So there are many options for that. So now we have CMD open. So let's see. So what about WSL? The same, you can just type WSL after I click on the start button, WSL. So you can click on this, or you can also type Ubuntu here. When you type Ubuntu, it will take you there. You just click on it. It depends on the version of Ubuntu install
So,
on your system.
Falalu, it means people with Windows can use CMD or this WSL. It means they have two options, people with Windows, right?
Yes, sure. They can use to, because in the previous lesson we installed virtual machine on our system so that we can run Linux on
Oh,
our Windows. That's the
so
that's
for
the use
people
of WSL.
so for people that have not installed WSL, can they use the CMD?
Yes, they can use the CMD because CMD is built in on Windows. So any type of Windows, any version of Windows you use, you can use a CMD. You just
All
need
right.
to press Window R, then you type CMD. You will just see it. Whether you are running XP, Windows 7, Vista, Windows 8, 8.1, 10, 11, so you can still use CMD.
Okay, good. Thank you. So for people that have not installed WSL, now you can open your CMD and use that one. For people with Mac, like me and Linux, you don't have any problem. Yeah. So Palalu, what is the use of this CMD or terminal stuff? Why are we learning it?
Yes, we are learning it because we have all these things as advantage over uh, GUI. Because when we need speed, we use command line. We need to automate tasks. We need command line. We need handling big data. We need to filter some files. We need command line. Let's give you an example, or let's start first. Let's say the thing that we usually learn when we interact with the system for the first time, what we do is we turn on the system, we learn how to turn on the system, then we learn how to create files and folders. So that's what we are going to do for today. That was we are going to start with today. So
Okay.
first of all, we need to create a file, then we need to create a folder. Folder, there is another term for folder that is directory. When we say directory, we mean folder. So to start with, we have the basic commands. First of all is where are we? That's the present working directory. Because for you to work with any file on your system, you need to go to the working place. For example, you can be on the desktop, you can be on maybe on download folder, you can be on Explorer, you can be on documents, you can be in many places. So to start with, let's see, let's start with the Windows CMD. So can you see, okay, let me increase the font. So to increase the font, what you just need to do, you just right click on the top bar, then you click on properties, then you can come here and choose the font that will work for you. So to know where you are, the present working directory, we can just see it here. But on Linux, it can be different. You can see different things here, but while the working directory can be different. So it is obvious on Windows, you just need to type CD, then you press enter. It will tell you where you are. So we are on C, in C, that is C is usually called root directory. It is a folder because it is the first folder in your system. It is called root directory. Under root directory, we have another folder called users. Then under this, we have another folder called user R. So for those who use Ubuntu, what they just need to type, they will type pwd, that is present working directory, the directory that you are presently working on. Then let's go back and see. Then from this, we can list the files we have in that directory. So for that, we use ls. If you are using Mac or Linux. So when we say Linux, we are talking about any flavor of Linux, be it Mint, be it Ubuntu, be it whatever, Ubuntu, whatever. So in Linux, you can use, in Linux and Mac, you can use ls to list all the files and folders, all the directory and files in that working directory. So let's see now. So for this, to see what we have here, we are not going to use ls. So we are going to use dir. So this will display all the files and folders in this directory user R. So you press enter, you will see, so you see all the directories we have, you will see for directory, you will see dir, meaning it is a folder. Okay? You see all of them here. Any question?
Yes, I have question.
Yes.
Okay, please. My name is James Williams. Okay, this is my first attendance. I missed the first class. So, but at some point in time when you were explaining about using Ubuntu and using command line on Windows, you said for us using Ubuntu, this is what we are going to use. But I think this is on Windows because I'm following it. I have my Ubuntu installed, but I can't see this part on Ubuntu. So I want to be sure if I'm following through.
Okay, let me open Ubuntu. So this is Ubuntu. You can do the same to increase the font. You can just right click on this. Let's right click. Then we go to properties. Then come and choose the right font for us. So here, what you just need to do is pwd. Just type and press enter. So you see the present working directory is home, then slash Falalu. So Falalu is now the present directory we are working in.
Okay, I think I'm getting it now. Thank you. Although my Ubuntu has, instead of that $sign, it has hash sign. I don't know if it's a different version. I don't know why it's having a hash sign.
So there is no problem. We can talk about that maybe after the class. You can talk to us via Telegram
All right,
channel.
thank you.
Yeah,
if you have
so
issues.
Thank
just
you, sir.
tell you, you can have different, whether it is $sign or whatsoever sign. It depends on the kind of the terminal you have. So that's not an issue. You can have different things.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now.
Falalu, can you go up a bit? Up a bit. There is a picture that you miss. Up a bit. All right. So if you look at this one here, you see there is some descriptions of everything, right? You can see the first one called command line prompt, right? Then there is one command prompt, and there is what we call new line and other. So you can see here you have $signs. This is different terminals. They have their own which one they use, but I think I will also share something in the Telegram so that you see the differences. Yeah, Falalu, you can continue.
Okay, now we know the function of this ls and as well as its similar command called dir on Windows. So there are many other options that you can combine with the ls and dir. So let's see. Let's start with the command prompt. So let's say we have another directory here. So let's go to the desktop. So desktop is also directory. So you just type desktop and press enter. So it will take us to desktop, as you see. So now to display all the files here and folders, what you just need to do is just the same command. You just type dir. So now you see all the files and directory here. So you do the same with Ubuntu. When you want to navigate to another folder, you just type cd. cd means change directory. You are changing the directory you are working on to another directory. So now, suppose we want to go to another directory. So we just need to type cd, then we type maybe LAN. I think we have another directory here, LAN. So to display all the files in it, you just type dir. So you see there are many files here. So the Shamsuddin asked me why using command line. So let's take this as an example. Here, let me switch to the folder. Let's press Windows D. So let's look for that folder. LAN. It is here. So this is the folder. Let's assume you have an assignment. The assignment is to sort all these files and write the name on this of this all the files in this to maybe in another file. So how do we sort that? Maybe the assignment is to take all the txt files. We identify files are identified using their extension. There is file name extension. We have file name. We have file name extension. So suppose we want to, you are given assignment. Maybe you have millions of files here. Maybe the files here are only 440 and 87. So let's say you have millions or billions of files mixed. We have txt file, we have doc, we have doc with X extension, we have PNG, we have JPG, we have different file name extensions. Now you are asked to sort all these on different files. How do you do that? So someone is raising his hand? No.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, my question is, when I press CD, like it shows me to change directly, I insert desktop, well, the response is not found. There's no such directory. Like this. I don't know, is it my system or something?
I didn't get you. When you press CD, you have to the directory
Yes,
must exist before you can change to that directory. You have to be sure that that directory exists. Otherwise, you will get an error.
okay, sir. Yes, sir. So how do I know the list of directories that exist in the system?
Yes, to know the list, you just type dir. dir. If you are using Ubuntu, you type ls. So now let's keep going. Now let's
Sorry,
say that,
sorry to cut you short, sir. I have a question. I was trying to raise my hand, but I cannot find the emoji.
okay, you say,
Okay, I said I'm following the command prompt. So I typed desktop, and my laptop is showing me desktop is not recognized as an internal or external command.
yes, the reason is you didn't type cd. You have to type cd, then desktop, because when the first thing that comes is the command. So you have to type the command first, then where you want to go. So you have to type cd, change directory to so folder. For example, you write cd, then you write where you want to go, then you put the directory, desktop. You understand?
I'm also
Do you get it?
to add, when you say CD, as Dr. has showed, this means in graphical user interface where you are using your mouse to move to a folder to another folder to another folder, where you're clicking. This in desktop terminal allow you to just move effortlessly. So you can see previously it's in desktop. When you say CD now, he can move to another folder without, if it is in graphical interface, you need to, go from this and that one. But here you can just type CD and move, which means that the terminal is allow you to do something faster. It allow you to do something that, can take you much longer time, more efficiently. So
Yes. And
this,
again, to add more on it, you can move number of folders at a time. Maybe you have a folder, you can say folder, move to this folder, then slash another subfolder, slash another subfolder. So you can do it at a time. Maybe if you have hundreds, you can do it at the same time without uh, wasting time. But on GUI, using GUI, you have to click on this, then you go to this, you double click until you reach the end. So now let's add, let's say we want to display only the TXT file. So to display only the TXT file, what you just need to do is just type dir, then you type star. Star means 0 or more characters of any type, be it A, starting with B, starting with C, ending with anything. Then it can be any file name, in short. Then the extension, if I write txt, meaning I am just interested in displaying all the files that end with txt. So when I press enter, I will see only those files that ends with txt. You see them here. Any file you see here ends with .txt. That's the power. And interestingly enough, you can save this result in a file. For example, I can say, please save this to a file called my txt file dot txt and press enter. So when you go let's go to the folder and see. Learn. Then the file start my txt file. Or we can display it there if we want. So my txt file, you see it here. So you see, so we have everything. You have all the names. See? All the files here ends with .txt. So let's move on. So what if we want to display all the files that start with A? So we can do it again. We can say any file that starts with A, display any file that starts with A, and maybe you can put star there and put dot, you put .txt here. So when you type this, you see any file you see here starts with an A. You see? You can also keep going. You can say that I want to display all the files that start with A and B and end with anything. And that's end with anything, I'm referring to the file name, not the extension. So when you type this, you will see only this file, 3 files, this one and this one and this one. So James, you have question?
How?
Yes, sir. Please. Yes, sir. It's just a brief one before you leave. So are you saying, sir, that when you type in this directory and you put in the first letter before the star, that first letter means it's a way to sort. Like the example you gave, maybe A or B, maybe means you are sorting with respect to that letter, then followed by star, which will follow the extension, which is .txt. Is the .txt mean you are creating a file of txt, or you are sorting based on txt, whichever files that are run under txt? Because what I see is that you let on the folder on the interface, I see that there's a file that was created that has txt, which all the names which you sorted down came in under. Is it that the directory means create a txt file with a txt extension?
No, we already have the files. We are just sorting. So we have bunch number of files. So we want to sort. Maybe we want to display all the files that ends with .txt file. You understand?
Okay.
So the way of sorting, we can use this asterisk and maybe question mark. Sometimes you can use question mark. You can say, so when you use question mark, you are referring to only a single character. You can even use range. So here can represent anything. So any file that starts with anything, but the second character must be B, then the next characters can be 0 or many things here. So when you do this and type txt, it means that you are displaying any file that whose name, whose the second character in the name of the file is B should be displayed.
Okay. Okay. All right, sir. So it will be written when you now put it greater than sign. It means the result should be written in that txt file.
Yes. So in that case, we are creating another file. So if you use this, maybe you echo. We will come to that. Maybe.
So I think we are moving faster than that is called redirection. So Falalu, you can move it like along. So yeah, exactly what you said is correct. Like when you put the greater than, that is called redirection. You are putting, instead for the output to be displayed in the terminal, you are sending output to a new file. You are right. You are creating a new file when you use the redirection. You put the greater than.
All right. Thank you very much. Just wanted to confirm that.
What of if the file is not a text, it's another file?
Yes, you can create. Just give the extension of the file. Maybe you can create .dat.
Like PDF or JPG and other
Yes,
things.
yes, yes. But you can't create JPG here because that one takes a lot
So
of
yeah,
memory.
Falalu, you can do the what is in the because like some people, if you go faster, like some people will be confused. Like, so let's stick to the basic things that you have.
Okay, let's repeat. So what I talk about is when we use this. Who can tell me what does this stand for when I use this?
It means anything.
Means you search for any file.
Are you sure? So what this
I
is,
think
we are just looking for any file whose name contains only 3 characters. So it can be ABC dot any extension. Any file whose length of characters is the length of the name is 3 characters. You understand? Just like ABC, the length of this is 3. 1, 2, 3. The length is 3. A, B, the length is 3 because this space is also a character. So let's move on. So let's go to another one. Sometimes you can have files that are hidden. When we come tomorrow, we will create a directory. When we create a directory, maybe when we use init, there is a command called init in this in Git. It will initialize that file and you will see hidden directory in it. So to display hidden folders, what you just need to do, you just type dir/h, meaning display all hidden files. All hidden files. Sometimes you can use /a to display the all hidden files, or all the files including the hidden ones. Sometimes you have a folder and the folder contains files. For example, let's put dir here. When we type dir and press enter, let's look at the top. You will see some directories there. You see directory here. You see another directory. The content of these directories are not displayed here. You see many others here. So the content are not displayed. Now, how do we display the content in that? So in that case, we use what we call recursive listing. So we put dir, then we put /s, meaning display all the files including subfolders. So when you have folder, you have other folders in it. You have in that particular folder, you have another folder in it. So you can do that. Then we also have what we call detail view. So the detail view, we just write /q and press enter. So you have including the detail. You see the details here. More than that, you see you have this, you have other things. So that is the detail view. Then what if you have a folder, you have other subfolders, and you want to display all the files in the folder and in some folder, and you want to maybe store the result in a file? Who can do that? Let's do it with the class. How do we do that?
The question again.
We have a folder maybe called grandpa that contains files and another folder called father. And the father contains files and another folder called children. And the children contain files as well. So how do you display all the files in the grandpa, the father, and the children? The reason why I asked this question is that I told you how to do recursive listening.
Yes,
So when
slash
you
n.
want to display, we want to display all the files and folders together in the folder
We
and
use
subfolders. We use this.
Eric.
So I have already started. Then do what? Maybe you want to display all the TSP files in the grandpa, the father, and the children. So what we do is we just type asterisk dot asterisk. So here means all the files. If we want to specify txt file, we type txt. If we want to specify doc file, maybe Microsoft Word from 2003 downwards, we use this. From 2007 upward, we use docx. We want to display all the images, you can use JPEG. We want to display other type of images, we can use PNG, GIF, and many other file types, maybe HTML. All these are different file name extensions that we are filtering. So if you want to display only the TXT file, this is what we do.
Falalu, we need to move to other commands like make directory, remove directory, cut.
Okay, so let's
Mhm.
go there. Okay, let's. So how do we create directory? To create directory, what you just need to do is use the command called make directory. Make dir. That's the command. So there is shortcuts. You can just write md to create a directory. So let's do it. So let's say we have this LAN and we want to create a directory. Then we write make directory. Then we type the name of the directory. Let's call it cohort 3. So when you type this, now we have.
Can you show us the new directory you created on your computer using GUI?
So to view it, let's go to the LAN. So we just created a folder. So you see it's cohort 3, which is empty, nothing in it.
So how do we
So
know?
you can.
How do you know that the folder we created is a LAN?
So
now, for example, if I want to create the folder in desktop, not inside the LAN, what can I do?
You want to create a folder there
on desktop.
So what you just on desktop, what you just need to do to create a desktop a folder on desktop, what you just need to do, you have to go back a bit. So to go back, what you just need to do, you just type cd, you type dot and dot. This will take you back to this folder. So you just press enter. Now I am in desktop. So here in desktop, you can create another folder. You can say make directory, then you give the name of the folder. Maybe let's call it question. So you press enter. Now we have the folder. So if you want to go inside the folder, you just write cd, then you write q. So if you don't want to complete, you just type tab. It will complete everything for you. You press enter. Now you are in.
So sorry for asking. So, sir, please sorry for asking this question.
Okay.
My question is it necessary for us to give space after that CD before sending the prompt?
Yes, you must give spaces. In some cases, in Linux, it will punish you, because even if you want to use this CD on Linux, you will get an error because you have to give space between this dot and this dot. Let's move there and see. Let's finish with this, then we will go back to the Linux and try it. So when you try this without the space in Linux, you will get an error. So you need space for everything here. You need space for everything. So this is how you navigate through a directory or folders.
So
So to
Falalu,
go to
now I'm inside the desktop. If I want to move in, go back to the folder called LAN, how can I do?
So if there is LAN, you want to go to the LAN, you just type CD, then you type the name of the folder. In this case, it's LAN. So you just press enter.
Okay. Now I'm inside the LAN folder. If I want to see what is inside the LAN folder, what can I do?
So you just type dir and press enter. If you are looking for a specific file, you just type, you can use asterisk dot, the file name extension that you are looking for.
Okay.
So that is for creating folders.
So the CD ..2 allow me to go back, right? To go back to the previous folder, as you see it.
Yes, but there is also CD backward slash. It will take you to the root folder if you want. When you type CD, then you type this, it will take you to C. So let's see. So this is how it works. And sometimes you may have flash or hard drive that you want to navigate to. So in that case, you don't need to use CD. You just need to type the flash, maybe the letter for the flash. So you just type E, for example, and colon, and press enter. Then it will take you there if the drive is there. If it's not there, you won't see it.
So now, Falalu, we have seen how to create a folder. What about if we want to create a file, like the TST, like in our computer, we normally right click and create a file. So if we want to do in terminal, how can we do that?
So it depends on the OS. If you want to create a file in Microsoft Word, it depends. You want to create an empty file, or you want to create a file with something. So let's say we want to create a file with, we want to initialize the file with some content. What you just need to do, you just type echo. When you type echo, okay, here I'm still in CD. So here we can go to users. Then from users, you want to go to user R. From there, you want to go to desktop. So now we are there. So we can move to different folders at a time. So now let's go to our LAN folder. Now we are in the LAN folder. Now we want to create a file, maybe TXT file or that file. So what you just need to do is just type echo. Then maybe you can use quotation. It's safer to use quotation so that your code can be used in different operating systems. Then you type what you want to type. Maybe tomorrow we will learn when we start working with GitHub. There is a file that we usually create when we have our first GitHub repo. It's called MD file. So you can create an MD file by using the same method. So now let's say, welcome to the cohort 3 session. So now we have this text that we want to maybe display in the file. Then you use this forward right arrow. Then you type the name of the file. Let's say the name of the file is learning to succeed, for example. Then you specify the file name extension, because when you have file, then you have file name extension. So, sorry. So the file name extension, in this case, we are creating a TXT file, just normal text file that we create with using Notepad. You just press enter. When you press enter, now the file has been created. So to see the file, you can go there to see it, or if you want, you can just type ls dir. Because our file starts with LEA, we can start with this, then we can say any file that starts with this and must be a TXT file. So let's see. So you see the file exists.
Can you show us the file in GUI, or go to the folder and
So
show us?
let's go to the GUI and see it. So let's type L. So you see it, learning. Then let's open the file and see. So you see, welcome to this. Welcome to the cohort.
So
3 sessions.
this is when you want to create a file and write content at the same time. What about if we want to, just create a file, for example, using Touch, just create a text file?
So to create a text file, you can just type this without nothing. Then it will create the file. So this one will overwrite what we have because we use single angle arrow. So when you go there, you will see the file, but nothing will be there. So that's one. So to display the content of the file, we use card if we are using Ubuntu, or using type if you are using Windows. So if you are using Ubuntu or Mac OS, you can use card to display the content in the file. But if you are using CMD, you can use type, just TYPE. Then the name of the file. The name of the file in this case is learning to succeed. Okay, to this one. Yes. So you just press enter. You see nothing is dead. So you can also use a.
Is that echo that you made mention? Is it that it doesn't change? We need to use it at all times when trying to create a file.
No. What it does is it is just like maybe you not always. Sometimes, as you have seen, we have some commands, but we want to create the file. We can just use that slash to create the file directly without using echo.
Okay.
For example, what I did in the previous command, I say dir, then I put maybe a asterisk dot, maybe pdf, for example. Here, I am displaying all the PDF files in this folder called LAN, and I want to create another file called zebra, for example, dot txt or dot dat. So here I didn't use echo at all, and this will create the file. So let's move on because of time. Sorry. So here we have another command that you can use to create new files as well. You can use touch. So when you use Linux a lot, you'll see that we use touch to create files. And for Windows, you can use null with this. just this to create the file. Then we already know how to create a directory, that is make directory or MD. You can use MD if you don't want to type a lot, if you are lazy like me. So you can use MD and the name of the folder. So what if you want to create multiple folders at a time? Maybe you want to create this folder and this one and this one and this one at the time. Maybe you want to create 3 folders at a time. The grandfather, the father, and the child at a time. So you can do that. So let's move on. Let's assume that we want to remove a file. So removing a file, we just use rm, then we type the name of the file. So let's go and see. So now let's use type zebra. So what does this command do? These commands display the content in that file. So these are the contents, all the PDF files, you see. That's the content in that file. If you go there into the LAN folder and you open it, this is what you will see. You will see all the PDF files in that folder, the name of the PDF file. Question?
Yes, I have questions, sir. Please,
Yes.
from the VS Code, the documentation, how can I get to that part in my VS Code?
In VS Code, the same thing. One of the advantages of using VS Code, you can use both dir and ls. Some commands can be run in the VS Code directly without any error. You can use ls, you can use dir.
What I'm saying is, how can I get that documentation list on my VS Code? From which you are scrolling down. If you open your VS Code, there is a command list preview documentation. Yes, this documentation. How can I get it on my VS Code?
This one.
This is our.
Yes, it's already shared on GitHub.
You can look at our GitHub repository. I shared in the chat. You can follow. It's there.
All right. Okay.
So look, Falalu, we have termin on top of that. If you can go to the last part, we have remove and cut. If you can explain that, and then we can close for today.
So cut, if you are using Linux or Mac OS, you can use cut. The same thing as using this type. So type can be used to display the content of the file, or you can use more. More can also be used. Then the name of the file name .txt. Then this will display the content in the file. Then so I think that's all we have. Then removing the file. This is how we remove the file. So to remove the file on Ubuntu, you just use rm, then you put -r, then the name of the folder. In Windows, you can use the same, and maybe you can use remove directory rm, or you can use rmdir, then the name of the folder. Then sometimes you may get error. So let's see. Let's quickly do it. Let's say you have. Let's go to the desktop. To go to the desktop, we use cd, then we put dot dot. Now we are on desktop. Now let's create a folder called A. Then, okay, cd A is another thing. So let's call it ABC because we have. Sorry, I have to create a folder. So I will write make directory or MD. Then let's put A. Then we put CDA. Then now we are in A. So let's create another one called B. So now we have 2 different folders. We have A and B. Let's assume we go back a bit and we try to delete maybe the folder. So we can write r remove directory, we can write rmdir, then let's write E. So you see the problem is saying that the directory is not empty. So you cannot delete that because there is another folder in it. So how do we go about this? So we can use the recursive slash we talk about rm, that is remove dir, then we put that recursive sign, then we will say oh, we didn't put the folder name, which is A. So we use this, then we say let's post this. So now it's gone. So this is how we delete directory. So the directory has gone
Excuse
forever.
me, I don't understand the /q. I thought B was the subfolder of A.
Which one? B? Yes, B is a subfolder of A because we initially created a folder called A, then we go inside A and create another folder called B. So we try to delete A because A contains B, then the system says that A is not an empty directory. Therefore, it cannot delete it until we force it to do so.
Okay,
So
but
if you
the /q, where does it come in?
the /q is quietly delete the folder without any complaining, without asking. Just like when you want to delete a folder, maybe when you want to delete a directory on your desktop, it will ask you, are you sure you want to delete this file or you want to send it to the recycle bin? Then you will say yes. If you don't want this kind of question, you just press Shift Delete from the keyboard. You press keyboard Shift, then you press Delete. So this means quiet. So let's do it again. So let's.
I think also if you want to remove the folder from the documentation you are saying, we have RM, we have -R, the name of the folder. So if you have, folders inside folder, you can use the option, yes, make -R.
Yes, so that one works with Linux and Mac OS as well. So
Okay.
to remove the files, you can use RM, that is to remove. Then you can use -R, then the name of the folder you want to delete.
Okay, thank you.
So now let's go to A again. Now let's make another directory and call it B. Now let's go back a bit. Now let's say we have the command. So you can use up arrow to navigate through the commands you have already run. That's up arrow. So if you use down arrow, you go down. So let's press this. Now you see, because we didn't use Q, it asks, are you sure? Then you can say yes. You can just type Y. Then it is deleted.
Right.
Sir, sorry, sir. Sir, I missed the part where you clarify on the issue of like the reason why it showed us the system cannot find the file specified. Is it that because the file named A is having B as a letter inside it, or what? I couldn't get that.
Falalu, I think maybe we can follow up because it's already late. We need to go for today. Ask you a question in the Telegram. We can take it over. So thank you for joining us today. What we discussed today is called command line. The reason why we discuss it is the next class will be able to use some experience here. But if you are completely, some people are saying lost, it's not everything that we discussed today that, we'll be using it every day. but just to show you there is something called terminal, and you can use it to navigate to your computer, because tomorrow when you are using GitHub, we'll be able to use terminal to, install Git and other stuff. So if you want to actually, learn more about this, which is, yeah, the class is an hour, but when we start doing the Python, we may move on to more an hour, 30 minutes. So what we discussed today, this is the, if you are wondering, somebody asks where is the content. So this is where it is, called command line. So if you go here, you see what is being discussed today. And we have some several sources here. If you are interested to learn more about, this command line and other stuff, there are, for example, this is a YouTube crash course on, learn beginners. If you go here, this is a crash course on terminals. It will teach you a lot of other stuff that you can learn more about that. We also have beginner's guide here on Bash terminal, which is also good. So if you want to learn more about this stuff, which would be really useful for your data science journey, so you can consult them. But for the meantime, what we discussed today, like CD, make that LS, for example, make directly, couple of these 3 or 4, that is what we will be using in our, day-to-day Python stuff or something like that. But other things, we may not necessarily be using them until we are pro, or we, we have more, we are more experienced. But for the start, you can, learn the basic stuff such as CD, which is change directory, make directory, remove directory, and also print working directory, and ls, something like these are the basic commands that you would be interested to learn more. And we expect everyone to learn. So what we will be doing tomorrow, if we go back to our, this is what is called setup Git and GitHub. So this is what we do today. Tomorrow, inshallah, Falalu will take us here. You will see, we'll discover what is Git and how to set it up, how to create your GitHub account, how to do other stuff. You can go through it before tomorrow. In fact, you can watch the recordings here for the last year to get a sense of what is that. So you will have smooth understanding tomorrow. And then after tomorrow, we will put the recording for tomorrow's session when Falalu does, and also we'll add today's recording here. So you can have 2 recording, previous sessions and new session, and you can review the contents as well. As I said, we intend to cover the getting started and setup and installation in next week. So this week we will cover this, and tomorrow this one. Next week, I myself, I will cover all this stuff. Python environment, VS Code for data science, Markdown, and how you can customize your GitHub profile. We'll cover all this one. Then from next week, then we are done with setup and installation. Still, we haven't started our Python. When we are done, then we can come and start doing our Python. So we still have more weeks for you to, get set up. Somebody was asking in the chat, all he has, for example, we saw a variety of installation. So all those things that we install will be working hand in hand to make you are learning more, better. We install many other things. Yeah. Okay. Right. Any question before we go?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sorry I started following them. I lost my network, but I came back. I don't want to interrupt. Please, if it is possible, I follow all the session, but my concern is how this desktop was created. I see all the command CD, mkdir, all these are familiar with, but how, because my one is a user doesn't my name that would appear, but how this desktop was created.
Yeah, so the desktop is something, your desktop in your computer. So if from the user, if you type CD desktop, you move into the desktop. So that's how it's not created. It's like desktop on your computer, because you remember in Windows, we have a folder called desktop, right? On your Windows computer, a folder called desktop.
Yes,
so
sir.
when you say CD desktop, you move into that folder. It's not created, it's there.
Okay, so what of that LAN after the desktop? So you also put CD and also write the LAN, then it also creates
No,
the folder.
all those things are folders. It can be specific to your case. everything you see is a folder. You move into those folder and other stuff. So please, you can ask more questions in the Telegram. Falalu is there. You can be able to support and answer questions. Falalu will be in the Telegram. You can ask, we can respond to questions, but I think is time. We have 23 minutes on top of the time, and we need to go. Thank you very much for joining, and we see you tomorrow on the Telegram.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.